Arryn Siposs, an Australian punter, received a great deal of appreciation for stopping a touchdown during the Philadelphia Eagles game against the Minnesota Vikings. The Buffalo Bills' 41-7 victory over the Tennessee Titans was left injured by a nasty collision, which occurred just before halftime. An ambulance was called out to the middle of the field. Want to hear more on this? Stay tuned, because we've got you covered, folks. First up, the Aussie star ends up saving the day for Philly. The Philadelphia Eagles owe a debt of gratitude to Australian punter Arryn Siposs for his touchdown-saving tackle that helped Philly defeat the Minnesota Vikings 24-7. With just over 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter, the Eagles, who were leading 24-7, were attempting a 41-yard field goal. When the attempt was blocked, Siposs, who was in possession of the ball for Eagles kicker Jake Elliott, made a frantic grab for Vikings cornerback Kris Boyd. He had an open field to run into and was headed for a score. Siposs, though, was able to encircle Boyd's legs with his arms and lower him to the ground. NFL fans applaud him for his action, which prevented the Vikings from scoring an easy score. But Siposs, who played 28 AFL games for St Kilda from 2011 to 2015, was used to such tackles. The Eagles had a good day because quarterback Jalen Hurts completed 26 passes for 333 yards and 1 touchdown. The air raid that Philadelphia launched on the Vikings was highlighted by 4 of their wide receivers clocking 69 receiving yards or more. In order to secure the victory, the Eagles' defense also played well, intercepting Kirk Cousins of Minnesota 3 times. Up next, the Bills' win, tarnished by the horror injury. Josh Allen fired 4 touchdown passes as the Buffalo Bills defeated the Tennessee Titans 41-7 on Monday to keep their perfect record intact. Allen, the Bills' quarterback, was in fine form as Buffalo romped to a convincing victory, finishing with 317 passing yards on 26 of 38 completions. Buffalo now has 2 straight victories after beginning the season with a 31-10 thrashing of the Los Angeles Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions. The first half injury to cornerback Dane Jackson, who had to be carried off the field and then taken to the hospital with a neck injury, raised some doubts about Monday's triumph. Just before halftime, Jackson and teammate Tremaine Edmunds were involved in a horrifying accident. During the clash, Jackson's head was brutally snapped back. The Bills later confirmed that Jackson was being evaluated in a hospital, but that he had complete mobility in his extremities. Prior to that, though, the Bills scored on their first drive of the game, a 14-play, 75-yard touchdown drive that was capped by a short pass from fullback Reggie Gillum to Allen. At the conclusion of the first quarter, running back Derrick Henry scored a touchdown for the Titans to give them their own response. But the Bills immediately regained control, leading 10-7 after a 49-yard Tyler Bass field goal. Later, Allen connected with Stephon Diggs for a touchdown reception of 4 yards, making the score 17-7 after the extra point. Now into the third quarter of the game. Early in the third quarter, the Allen-Diggs bond yielded another touchdown. Allen launched a 46-yard pass to the Bills receiver, giving him his second score of the game. Midway through the third quarter, another Bass field goal increased Buffalo's advantage to 27-7 before Allen and Diggs teamed up once again for their third touchdown, which brought the score to 34-7. To finish the scoring, linebacker Matt Milano intercepted Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill for a 43-yard pick six. Moving forward, Jimmy Garoppolo gets lucky? Well, with the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo is making money off his new contract. Garoppolo received an additional $350,000 for filling in for 49ers starter Trey Lance, who was carted off the field in the first quarter of the game with an ankle injury. The Seahawks were defeated 27-7 on Sunday. According to the revised agreement Garoppolo made in August, which reduced his base pay from $25.62 million to $6.5 million, the quarterback is eligible to get $250,000 for each game in which he participates in at least 25% of the offensive snaps. Every time one of those appearances ends in a victory, much like Sunday, the former second-round choice can earn an additional $100,000. Lastly, Garoppolo isn't complaining about his $350,000 bonus. When a reporter brought Garoppolo's six-figure bonus up, he said he had nothing to do with that decision and that he's not contemplating the things outside. His job's to play. He's in the game, flowing with it, trying to get his his guys ready, but he did mention that of course the bonus is a great positive. And, well, we can't say we disagree. Who doesn't like extra cash? Couldn't be us. Garoppolo noted after the game that it felt nice for him to be back out there. He was generally anticipated to leave San Francisco before the 2022 regular season. Garoppolo said being out on the field was just like riding a bike for him, and added that he felt bad for Lance because he had season-ending surgery on Monday. He also said he feels awful for Trey, having experienced a similar injury in the past himself. Lastly, he mentioned that the league is competitive, and these things are sometimes bound to happen. Prior to his early exit on Sunday, Lance had completed 2 of his 3 passes for 30 yards and added 13 rushing yards. Garoppolo, on the other hand, completed 13 of his 21 passes for 154 yards and a touchdown. Late in the fourth quarter, Garoppolo added a 1-yard sneak to his stats. In Week 3, the 49ers traveled to Denver to take on the Broncos. Moving on to other news now. First off, will Justin Jefferson become the first 2,000-yard receiver in NFL history? Over the course of his first 2 seasons, the Vikings wide receiver set an NFL record with 3,016 receiving yards, earning him 2 trips to the Pro Bowl. And after only 1 game in year 3, Jefferson has done nothing except strengthen his position as a serious wide receiver throne contender. In fact, the 23-year-old could be in line to become the NFL's first 2,000-yard receiver if the new head coach and offensive play caller, Kevin O'Connell, followed through on an off-season pledge to make Jefferson the Cooper Kupp of Minnesota's offense. It only includes data from 1 game, but in the 23-7 victory over the Green Bay Packers in the season opener, Jefferson appeared to be unstoppable. Against a defense stacked with 5-star talent, the third-year pro finished with a career-high 184 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns on 9 catches. With his exceptional spatial awareness and route-running prowess, Jefferson dazzled. Kirk Cousins frequently targeted him, especially in the first half, when Minnesota sprinted out to a 17-0 lead behind Jefferson's 2 touchdowns, and he frequently found empty space in the Packers' zone. In the post-game huddle, 2-time league MVP Aaron Rodgers said Jefferson was the best player on the field, which perfectly encapsulated the performance. Moving on, Kyle Shanahan offers clarification. Social media resurrected an old Kyle Shanahan comment to create the impression that the San Francisco 49ers head coach contradicted himself in 2021 when asked to compare Trey Lance to Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Shanahan stated that Trey's not Lamar Jackson and that he's a quarterback who can run. Further, he added that the game's too rough to just line him up and run him. Shanahan was questioned today over the remarks from 2021 and what he means by them. Shanahan answered that what he said meant that he didn't want to move Trey to run back, which means everything with a read principle, and that you can't just go out there and run him every game. He further added that he only made that remark back in 2021 because a reporter had specifically asked if Trey could play as the team's running back for the 49ers in light of all the injuries the team had suffered to that position. He wrapped it up by saying the team has no intention of moving Trey to that position. Lastly, Tyrion Davis-Price is likely to be out for a few weeks. On Sunday, key 49ers players other than Trey Lance also suffered ankle injuries. According to The Athletic, San Francisco revealed that running back Tyrion Davis-Price is suffering a high ankle sprain a day after the young quarterback was sidelined for the duration of the 2022 season. In the 49ers' Week 2 victory over the Seahawks, the third-round rookie effectively split carries with Jeff Wilson Jr., but he is expected to miss at least a few weeks of action while healing. More severe sprains can prevent participation for up to 2 months, while high ankle sprains typically take 3 to 6 weeks of rehabilitation. The injury suffered by Davis-Price is not the first to affect San Francisco's backfield. He and Wilson only had more prominent roles in Week 2 owing to the absence of number 1 back Elijah Mitchell, who is out with an MCL sprain sustained in Week 1. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on Trey being out of the competition? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.